I think we are really great at telling the happy stories, the stories that have a nice bow on them. And I'm not saying those stories shouldn't be told, because there's some really awesome stories and I love all of them. I'm just saying, again, we're only hearing part of it, and God is bigger. So in my life, it felt like I had lost when my husband died, and there were things that I lost. But in God's world, I've won. My husband won. Like, there's this eternal picture that's so much bigger, and there's so much more to experience. But like, take a minute to grieve that loss, that earthly loss. Like, that's completely understandable. It takes time to work through all that loss. But if you can really trust God and just do the little things that you can do, like being still and knowing that God is God, that it's amazing what God can do. I think when I reached middle school is when my parents kind of let me decide if I wanted to be a Christian on my own. Like, they let me choose if I was going to keep attending church or not. And it was when I went to Kingdom Bound at Darien Lake that I became saved, that I asked Christ into my heart. I just always remember wanting to make a difference and wanting to serve. I remember moving out to Oregon with a voluntary service program. And it was at that time that I met my husband Steve, and we hung out there for a really long time, had a great church community, and yet he got sick with Hodgkin's lymphoma during my time there. And so our life changed really rapidly. I think I was so ignorant, really, that I don't think I ever knew that it was going to be terminal. I think maybe a part of me in my journal, looking back, I was taking notes, and I think I could see that God was preparing me. And I remember when he did eventually pass away, and I was so shocked. I was just a really immature Christian at the time. I had a really sincere love for God, but I really felt like it sounds crazy, but that bad stuff wouldn't happen to me. I think it was just at that time I realized, I thought, well, if my prayers aren't good enough, like, why am I praying? Like, what am I doing? And I knew that my love for Christ didn't change at all. But I definitely had questions, and I eventually was angry. I remember yelling at God, like, why didn't you heal him? And I just heard this answer, like, I did, and I suddenly realized that my focus, understandably, was an earthly focus. So I had what I wished would happen. And I just began to realize that I don't have an eternal focus. I just realized, okay, I have to really let go of everything, not just these things, not just this, and this, but love God through everything, through every circumstance, give him everything. And let me tell you, that's hard. I still, it's like, okay, God, I trust you with those things, but just not, you can't have this part. So I still feel that way, but I know I've really learned to pray for God's will, not my will. I don't even think I wanted to be happy after it. That sounds crazy, because everybody wants to be happy. You think you want to get out of that, but I didn't. Like, that's a hard one, because you just realize you don't want to move forward. Yeah. I remember there's this the Bible verse in James about the joy and suffering. And I could remember thinking to myself, how am I supposed to be joyful in this? And I kept thinking of this other verse in Psalms, be still and know that I am God. And I was at a place where it was just like, that's all I could focus on. Just be still. God has it, just be still. I could just slowly feel like, that the transformation in my mind, where it's just the slow renewal, and God was beginning to heal my heart, and I could feel it happening, but I still, like, it was very tender, very just okay, just doing the discipline step-by-step thing every day. So I went to this grief counselor, and I remember sitting there and thinking, yeah, okay, I lost my husband. What can you do about it? I'm a bit angry at God. And she really paused on that. She said, yeah, so you've served all your life for Christ, and he let this happen. How can you be okay with that? And it just really shocked me. It's like, oh yeah, how can I be okay? Am I okay with that? And I wasn't. And so it was slowly this transformation. So it seems crazy, but I just thought, I'm just gonna move forward. I'm just gonna do everything I'm supposed to do. I still loved God. I still wanted to serve God. And it was much later that it was my sister-in-law Cindy, and we were at her wedding rehearsal. And another man at the wedding called me over, and I knew it was one of those calls to come over and meet somebody. And when I walked up and met him, and my hand just disappeared in his big hand, I just knew, oh wait, this is Daryl. So I knew that this was the Daryl that my friend Cindy had already told me. I knew that he was a Christian. I knew a little bit about him, and I just remember watching him for the rest of the night and seeing him interact with all his nieces and nephews. And it was like, I think 6 months later, by the time he finally got the nerve after church to just ask if I wanted to go out for lunch with him. And yeah, then that was like 20, well, we're celebrating 20 years, so that was about 21 years ago. Life now isn't in any way perfect, but I have been blessed in ways beyond my wildest imagination. I could not fathom that I would be back in my hometown area with a great church family, to have this lovely man caring for us. 3 beautiful children. I really literally could not have imagined that. There's a song too that I've really loved. There's a song called Thy Will by Hillary Scott. And this song, boy, if I listen to the words, it's like, yes, I wrote that song, but I didn't. It's a song about turning over everything in all circumstances over to God and trusting him. And then there's verses like Isaiah 40:31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint.